Hello there, my name is Sandy Zimmer. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you how to create one of these cards with a Life's a Hoot scrapbooking stamp set and the card front pattern stencils. These stencils are from our January to March mini catalog for 2023. And you'll see here that I'm using our blending brush and the grape ink. And I'm starting at the top with a pretty heavy hand. I'm also using our masking tape to hold it in place there for me. And I'm starting with a pretty heavy hand, and as I go towards the middle, I let off the pressure a little bit so that it's a little bit lighter. Then I grab our bluebird ink here, and I'm starting at the bottom, again with a heavy hand. And I'm doing sort of that swirly motion so I can control it and I don't have streaks going in a certain direction. And again, I'm going with a lighter hand as I get into the middle there. And I will overlap it a little bit so that the purple and the blue aren't a distinct line between the two of them so that they blend really nicely. And that's a fun technique. I love these card front stencils. We have quite a few in our catalogs, and they're always fun to play with. So you'll see here when I lift it off, you've got that pretty white background. And then I'm using, again, from the Life's a Hoot scrapbooking stamp set in that catalog, I'm using this owl. And he kind of confused me a little bit, I'm not going to lie, because he's kind of twisted a little different. I initially put him on the card front here horizontally, and you'll see that. I'm just showing you the colors I used with our tri-blend markers there, the pink violet blend and the coral blend. So anyway, I put him on horizontally, and then after I did the stamping of the wild at heart here, the sentiment, I thought, I don't think he really goes that way. So you'll see later on in the video that I spin him around so that he's standing on his feet, and I'll give him somewhere to stand as well. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to use the grape here for this sentiment or if I wanted to use the bluebird. But I decided to flip my card front over and put the blue at the top, kind of representing the sky. And then I used the bluebird ink for the Wild at Heart stamp. And I was pretty happy with that. I like the way that that turned out. So I think right about now is when I realized, oh, that owl's going in the wrong direction. Yep, so I flipped him over. I like these tiny little flowers from this stamp set as well. So I put them on our mini blocks, and again I started with the bluebird ink here. So I stamped them in the background. And I love our stamp sets because they're clear and our blocks are clear. So I was able, you'll see here, to go right over top that first one that I stamped. And I wasn't happy with how dark it was, so I went in and I did it a second time. And then you'll see there I did a second generation stamp, which means I didn't re-ink it. And then I grabbed the small one and I put it up to the side. So kind of a little triangle of 3, which is always aesthetically pleasing. And I did 2 of them in bluebird, 2 clusters. And then I did 1 in grape down on the other side there. I sort of wanted to frame that owl a little bit, but I didn't want it to be anything that distracted too much from it. So that's kind of what I chose to do. I love that our stamp sets usually have like little elements like that you can use. You could even do a whole background with these if you wanted to, or you could layer them. You could go lighter with that big one and then put the smaller one with a darker ink in the middle. So pretty versatile when you get playing around with them. Okay, so I'm almost done stamping those. So you can see my arrangement here with the owl in place. Now I love these gold metallic markers, and you'll see here that they come with different ends on them. So there's a 4mm, 0.7mm, and a 3mm. And I decided to use the wide one, and you'll see here that I'm just grabbing some scratch paper. And I'm running that gold pen along the side. And so what happens is with that marker, it sort of creates a gap, I guess you could say, in the paint marker. And so it gives me a nice straight line all the way down as long as I follow the side. So I like the way that that works, and it looks like I've almost got, gold metallic paper behind it. but it's not quite as expensive because you can just reuse these pens over and over again. You could also do the same thing with our tri-blend markers if you wanted to. Or if you have other markers, of course, you could do them as well. But I really love these gold paint pens. I know that we're currently out of stock in them, so I'm hoping we get them back. So here I tried the round brush, and you can see I've got a little bit of a bloop there. I wasn't really happy with that, so I went back to that flat end one, which I really, really like that guy. That's the 4mm. And then I went around and I finished off the card off camera here. So when I come back on, you'll see that it's all finished up. And I also decided to use that round one, that's the 3mm one, to create a bit of a branch in the background. And I kind of got the idea from the other owl on that stamp set. And then I come in with the fine tip and just give those branches a bit of a fine tip. So then I place my little owl on there, and I decide I want another little branch coming off sort of over him actually. And I drew that first branch right off the card there previously. So I glue this guy down, and then I go ahead and I go back in with the gold paintbrush so that it looks like it's sort of three-dimensional, where that branch is in front of him and the other two are behind him. I always like that look. So now I just take that 4 by 5¼ base and put it on my card base. And then I'm grabbing the 0.7mm here, and I'm just creating some little V shapes just in the hexagons, just sort of randomly. I just felt that it needed some gold on there, some gold fun accents. Hopefully when I pick up the cards, you'll be able to see them on there. It's just another way to add another element on there and sort of tie things together. So I'm just going in and putting, I've got 4, so then I decide I want a group of 5. Visually, an odd number is always more pleasing to the eye. So there are my 5 groupings. Yeah, you can kind of see the shimmer there a little bit. I love that. Love me some gold, love me some shimmer. So I also created this other card with the same hexagon pattern in the background. You can see it there at the top. And just using the other 2 owls. So thank you for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed this video and you will like, share, and hopefully even subscribe. Maybe leave me a little comment about what you thought of this video. And hopefully you'll come back and watch some more. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.